Welcome to NTI week number 2. I hope that you guys had a wonderful weekend. This morning, I am going to walk you through some of your directions for this week. So, one of the things that you're going to find linked in Google Classroom is this Social Studies Week 2 rubric and agenda. Make sure that you take a look at this so that you kind of see how to pace yourself. This week, we're going to be working through some slavery in the United States stations. So, the next document that you're going to find is this slide document that has lots and lots of primary sources for you to analyze this week. This is going to be a little bit self-paced. So, you'll see in the agenda, I have given you some directions to complete your check-ins each day. Today, you're going to listen to these screencast directions and then complete station number 2. You could complete everything at once, but if you're looking at about 30 minutes of work per day, this is how you should think about pacing yourself out. So Tuesday is going to be complete check-in, complete stations 3 and 4. Wednesday is check-in and then stations 5 and 6. Thursday would be check-in and then stations 7 and 8. You will then turn in your work, and this station's activity is worth 100 points total. Friday, you will have a separate NTI Day 10 assignment. I have also included a rubric for you so that you understand what kind of grade you will receive. And you'll notice that turning in a blank or doing absolutely no work this week will include a phone call home to your parents, and Miss Stevens might make a phone call as well. So please, please, please make every attempt to get your work done this week. So station number 1, I've completed for you. I'm going to go through how to do this, and then you will be able to do the rest of this on your own. If you have any questions, let me know. Station number 1. So each station has a topic. The topic for 1 is working conditions for enslaved people in the fields. Every station has a supporting question that you're going to be working to answer. So that is, what can you tell about working conditions for enslaved people in the fields from these documents? You will also have linked for you this graphic organizer. So in this graphic organizer, you'll see that every station has your supporting question. It's going to have 2 boxes for you to jot down evidence from at least 2 sources. And then you will have a spot to make a claim, evidence, and reasoning statement for each of the supporting questions. So we're going to go back to the document. The first source that we're going to look at is this Hargret Rare Book and Manuscript Library image from the University of Georgia Library. So in this image, I put underneath of this, what do I notice about the working conditions of the enslaved people in this image? That's something that isn't on every slide, but it's something that I want you to be thinking about with every slide that you look at. So for this one thing that I noticed right away is this enslaved person who has this huge basket of cotton on top of their shoulders. I see that the cotton is kind of brimming over the top of each of the baskets in this picture. There are lots of enslaved people standing all throughout the fields. All of them are standing. Some of them are bent over. It looks like they are picking cotton. And really, I can see cotton as far as the eye can see. So this is a huge field. Kind of even looks like it sort of dips down and then dips back up. So on the graphic organizer, for source number 1, I filled in people are working in the fields picking cotton. People are carrying huge baskets of cotton. Everyone is standing or bent over doing this work, and cotton is in the fields as far as the eye can see. So I'm going to come back and I'll pick another source. Now I have 4 sources to look at. I do want you to look at each and every single one of them, even if you don't jot down evidence from every single one. You can use these sources to kind of level. So your reading level, what you feel comfortable with. Some of you might rely heavily on the images. Some of you may choose the shorter passages, and then some of you who are strong readers, and people who just enjoy reading in general might pick some of these longer passages. So I'm going to look at this second source. This is Angelina Grimke and Theodore Weld. You had an Ed puzzle that you watched last week about her, and some of you chose to research her. This is from the book that she's famous for called Slavery as It Is. And in here, I'm going to read this source. So it says, slaves in Alabama are worked really hard. The lash is universally applied at the close of the day. If they fail to perform their task in the cotton picking season, you'll see them with their baskets of cotton slowly bending their way toward the cotton house where one's basket is weighed. So they've got to pick enough cotton and they have to hit a weight quota every day. Here comes the mother with her children. She does not know whether herself or children or all of them must take the lash. So right away, I understand that mothers were in the fields with their children. They cannot weigh the cotton themselves. The whole must be trusted to the overseer. While the weighing goes on, all is still. So many pounds short, cries the overseer, and takes up his whip. The poor slave begs and promises, but to no purpose. The lash is applied until the overseer is satisfied. So that's really sad to think that they had to pick enough cotton, and if they didn't pick enough each day, then they would be whipped. So I'll come over to my graphic organizer, jotting down my evidence. Mothers worked picking cotton with their children. The cotton was weighed at the end of every day. If the cotton wasn't the right amount, the enslaved person could be hit with a whip. So now I have to use claim evidence and reasoning to answer my supporting question. So my claim is working conditions for enslaved people in the fields were really harsh. Your claim is one sentence. It answers the question. My evidence, I'm going to use a couple of pieces of evidence. So enslaved people had to carry huge amounts of cotton and spend time bent over in the fields picking it. According to Angelina Grimke, they had to pick a certain amount every day, and if they didn't reach their quota, they were beat with a whip, sometimes in front of their children. My reasoning is this shows that the conditions were extremely harsh because picking cotton is back-breaking labor. The pressure to pick huge amounts would probably cause enslaved people to worry about being whipped if they didn't pick enough. So that's how you complete station 1. You guys move on to station number 2 today on your own. If you have any questions at all this week or today, please do let me know.